Can I be provided with an explanation why the ABC did not report the fact that on the 15th of June, Mr John Stevens pleaded guilty to a case of historic child sexual abuse for which he received a prison sentence?
Senator, this is something that Mr Sunderland has been directly dealing with, so I'll let him speak.
I did inquire because there was some commentary publicly about that when it first arose. I inquired of the news team. Our bureau in the region were not aware of the court case when it happened, didn't report on it when it first came before the courts. My understanding was that it subsequently came before the courts a second time, by which time they were aware of it, and there was a report done on it then.
On one occasion?
That's right. It's been in court on two occasions. The first occasion we weren't present, didn't report on it. Second occasion we were and we did.
But you could have reported on it. Well, when was the first time the ABC became aware of Mr Stevens' appearance in court on the 15th of June 2017?
It was raised, I couldn't give you the precise date, Senator, but it was raised subsequent to that court appearance. It was covered by a local newspaper.
That's
it was
right.
then picked up and covered, I think the same report, I may be wrong, but I believe the same report by the Daily Telegraph. And at that point we were aware that the case was in existence.
And there was no need to report on it then?
Well, the inquiries that I made around it were that it was a court case that we weren't at. As I say, it's not our normal practice to cover court cases that we weren't present at. But as soon as we became aware that it was appearing before court a second time, that then provided us with an opportunity to cover it on its merits.
And how much coverage did it get? One occasion at
That's
the 1
right.
p.m.
It was one
news?
story, I believe.
One story only. Now, can you tell the committee whether this was a Mr John Stevens, a former ABC TV producer, who pleaded guilty to sexually assaulting a 14-year-old male ABC casual employee whilst on an ABC assignment?
I understand that I couldn't be certain whether the person was an ABC employee. Mr Stevens certainly was at the time, was working on behalf of the ABC, whether he was strictly an employee or not. But broadly, yes, that's my understanding of the situation.
So no reporting about an ABC employee having been imprisoned for a historic child sex abuse offence?
As I said to you, Senator, it was before the courts twice. The first occasion we weren't present, we weren't aware of it. The second occasion we were.
Has the ABC management adopted any duty of care to the victim?
Oh, that's not a question I can answer as editorial director, Senator.
Well, but Ms Guthrie,
Senator,
might?
I can say that we are conducting some investigations around those issues, and I'm afraid there's nothing I can specifically report on that today.
Well, didn't this occur 30 years ago? So can I ask, when was the ABC as an institution first made aware of this matter? And I'm not talking about the court appearance, but about the allegation against Mr Stevens.
Senator, I'll have to take that on notice.
Well, if you could, and I would invite you to check the records, because this is an event that took place about 30 years ago, and so you are unable to tell us whether there are any discussions at all in relation to this victim of this child sex abuse, who I understand is destitute and living out of a van.
Senator, I can say that we are investigating this issue, and as I said, I'm not able to report anything today, but I will. It is being investigated.
Well, let us know when you first became aware of this issue and why, and when your investigation first started. Surely, as soon as you became aware of this, your duty of care should have been to reach out, and I would have thought some of your journalists, who are quite properly, might I add, quite properly seeking to pursue other historic child sex offences against within certain institutions and their lack of care, may have exercised a similar diligence in relation to the institution known as the ABC, which we now know from the public record also has had child sex abuse, or historic child sex abuse cases. So I will look forward to the answers that I get on notice from that. Was Mr Stevens a casual employee at the time?
Senator, I do believe that he was an employee of the ABC.
Yeah, but was he casual or full-time, permanent?
I couldn't tell you that.
All right, if
Again,
you
I'll have to
can
take that on notice.
let me know. Moving on, how do we... And also in relation to the child, can I ask how that person happened to be with the ABC?
Again,
Was it work experience or...
Senator, I'll take that on
All
notice.
right, and whether there may be some workers' compensation implications for that. But if you can take all that on notice. Moving along, yet again, how did... You can't report on that, but somehow you can do a whole Australian story on one Senator Dastyari.